Welcome to another edition of Hamster Running, where logic takes a holiday and action maps are more like warning labels. This week, a double whammy. Saturday night in the streets of Aielo de Malferit, followed by Sunday morning's highly questionable expedition up the Sierra de Mariola. Yes, back-to-back runs because sleep is for people who don't want trail-related PTSD. Let's rewind to Saturday, Aielo de Malferit, a town I know well from my long runs, usually passing through while cursing a headwind or regretting breakfast. When I checked the race profile and saw flat, well, I assumed it was a misprint or a trap, but no, it was kind of real. No mountain goats required. A genuinely fast-ish circuit. In Spain, I know, shocking. Yes, the announcer was doing his thing, the crowd was buzzing, and my fellow runners were enthusiastically warming up. I naturally was checking on the refreshment tables. I like to think of it as strategic carb planning. I started at the back, classic hamster tactics, and slowly wound myself up like a cheap toy on dodgy batteries. I ran with Javier for a while, who, as ever, turned the race into street theatre. We did our usual dance of overtaking, faking confidence. At one point, I passed a few runners who promptly took offence and flew past me again. A real ego boost. And can we just pause to appreciate the local support? Live bands, clapping locals, and zero water shortages. That's foreshadowing, by the way. Stick with me. A tactical sprint finish, read mild jog, got me over the line in a decent time, and I celebrated with a donut and half a conversation before dashing home for a 2-hour nap. Yes, because the next bit of this story starts before sunrise. Sunday, 6 a.m. Casa Toni, still dark, still aching. Toni looked shocked that I hadn't found a way to bail out, but no, trail revenge was calling. I had unfinished business with the Sierra de Mariola. Last year, I ran here in road shoes. Unsurprisingly, I fell and spent 4 months in medical purgatory. This time, trail shoes, big boy shoes, Saucony Exodus Extras. Yes, that is a thing. We drove to Agres and parked sensibly near a restaurant because even if the mountain killed us, we'd die knowing there was nearby. The peak looked terrifying. Not a cloud and not a cable car either. Up we went, 5 kilometers of steep climbing. At the top, we passed the fire lookout station, which I had once mistaken for a cafe and ordered a coffee from. The same guy might have been there. Hard to say. I didn't ask this time. Well, actually I did as a joke. Not quite sure he understood that. We passed ancient ice houses, stopped for photos, and then began a glorious descent. Glorious because it was downhill, and downhill equals less dying, temporarily. But then Toni, who knows all the trails, decided we needed to go off script and took us down a forest path that could only be described as vertical scree with ambition. rocks, loose gravel, death traps posing as footpaths. I didn't actually fall, not once. My trail shoes, bless them, sacrificed themselves nobly. No broken bones, just slightly battered dignity and a profound sense of what on earth am I doing with my life? But then breakfast. Eggs, bacon, cold beer. If you're wondering whether you should like and subscribe to this channel, that sentence alone should be enough. Go on, you know you want to. It doesn't cost anything. We eventually made it back to Agri's, kind of. The car, of course, was parked halfway up a hill, classic, but before we left, Toni introduced me to the famous freezing mountain shower. Less a spa treatment and more a spiritual reset. Honestly, I'll take it. So, one weekend, two wildly different runs. A social Saturday sprint and a Sunday survival epic. But no medals. But also no hospital stays. So I'm calling that a win. Next week, we head to Monteverno, home of my favourite love-hate hill. You know the one. We've all got them. What could possibly go wrong? By the way, if you're still watching, it means you're a legend. Also, that you should definitely like and subscribe. Just saying. Have a great week.